So welcome back to my utility kitchen series. Now you might notice straight away that my washing machine no longer looks dog-eared, and it really had some terrible rust patches here. It's only 6 years old, but this transformation is thanks to you for suggesting some appliance enamel spray paint, because I never even knew this was a thing. So I thought I'll relay it back, how I got on, where I went wrong, any tips and things, and hopefully it will save somebody spending a lot of money. So yeah, keep on watching if you want to see how I got on. So firstly, I'd like to thank Rustoleum for sending me these enamel spray paints. This isn't a sponsored video in any way, and it's not forced to be the best product, but I'll leave a link to it below if it helps you out. Or those that have done this before, feel free to let me know what you think is best. So I knew the rust wasn't from the inside. It was probably from me putting pre-soaked garments in the washing machine, and it would dribble all along the front. So the first thing I did was use a hoover to suck any of the loose paintwork off. And then I started going on a rust hunt, which I kind of regret, but if you're going to do a job, do it properly. And I need to remove all of the rust as well. And I'm just using sandpaper for this. Oh, and make sure you put a rag down, because I'm sure the rusty powder would stain your carpet or floor. Thankfully ours is rust brown anyway. You come for a cuddle? Don't pull my face. And then I went over it with a damp cloth to remove any of the rust dust. But if you want to spray paint over existing paint, just key over it with some sandpaper, so when you come to spray it, it'll adhere better. Now, because I'd sanded down to bare metal, I needed to use a primer for this. I'm sure it comes in different colours, but I just used what I had, which was a silvery grey. But I did masking tape it up in areas where I didn't want to spray paint it. But I did have to remove some of this later, because I realised it created a paint lip where it stopped and started. So I'm constantly shaking this as I go along and spraying it from about 30 centimetres away, or trying to stick to that anyway. So after going back and forth a little bit, I left it to dry and returned back to it with the actual enamel spray. And this is a ultra hard enamel. It's a gloss finish, and it's meant to be washable and moisture resistant and stops rust. So again, shaking it like a crazy woman. You're meant to do this for about a minute. Oh, and all my doors are open, and I've even masking taped the furniture around it so spray paint didn't go in places I didn't want it to. But a few pointers that I can't stress enough, and I should know better, is to spray your appliance in much better lighting than this, because you can spot drips so much sooner. The other thing is to constantly clean the spout of it, because when it dried up, it sort of spat out the nozzle, creating a more textured look that I didn't want. So I left that to dry completely, and now I'm having to gently sand out the drips and that texture it created. But thankfully that wasn't much of a hardship. So removing all that dust again, and this time I'm making sure I don't spray on too much at any one time. So I just go back and forth for a few seconds and then leave it for a couple of minutes to go touch dry and then reapply. So I'm spraying a fine mist, and that really was the best method to follow. Now the great thing about this product is I can't tell whether I've spray painted it or not in any light, unless you look really closely or feel it with your hands. It definitely doesn't give the exact same manufacturer's finish, so what you might want to do is just spray the whole lot. But I've recently actually been offered a brand new washing machine to review, so I didn't want to go too mad, but this will definitely be going to a family member who needs it. If it's not broken, I don't like chucking it away. And the other thing that I had to do was replace the kick plate, and thankfully I found this on eBay for £12. Not bad. Let's get close up. So thank you so much to everyone who suggested using a spray paint for this. I'm really happy with it, particularly for the low cost idea as well. You can see that it's not quite the factory finish, but you've got to really look for it or somebody point it out to you, otherwise I just wouldn't have known. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it went. Anyway, if you do anything differently, feel free to comment below, or even a different product, because this isn't a sponsored video. And if you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye. Oh, and don't forget, if you haven't voted me for a blogging award, I'll leave a link below because there's only 2 weeks not left. Bye.